Big news in the NFL this morning as George Pickens traded from the Steelers to the Dallas Cowboys for a third round pick next year, as well as some pick swaps. Instant reaction to the big trade in the NFL. First and foremost, head to toe in Dallas gear. Yes, that's a Dallas Sucks hat. No, that is not a Micah Parsons jersey. That is a Scott Stapp Creed jersey there. So, not a big Cowboys fan, even though I do have a little bit of the anti gear. Also, not a huge fan of the trade for the Cowboys. So, right off the bat, I like the move for Pittsburgh. They traded and signed DK Metcalf in the offseason, made him their number one receiver moving forward. And I think that was just a good, stable move from Pittsburgh. They're moving on from a toxic receiver, which we have not really seen them do soon enough in the past. They've been known to have toxic receivers in the last like 10 years or so. Antonio Brown, Martavis Bryant, Juju Smith-Schuster. Um, there was even a couple more in there. Deontay Johnson a little bit. Um, I think there was even one more, but I think that's kind of held them back a little bit. And I think they said, you know what, while we can still get some value for him, let's get rid of him now and get that third round pick, send him to Dallas. And I really like that move for Pittsburgh. I think they're kind of turning over a new leaf there, moving forward with DK, and I think it's a positive. On the flip side for Dallas, oh my gosh, this feels like an extremely desperate move from the Cowboys. Uh, Basically, what I think here, Jerry Jones is realizing, probably panicking a little bit, that he might have overpaid Dak Prescott. Cowboys last year had a down year, 7-10, and I don't really expect that to change here. And I think, like I said, I think Jerry Jones is kind of starting to feel that pressure, overpaying Dak. They have CeeDee Lamb, who, if they don't start winning soon, he'll probably be gone. So they're trying to bring in Pickens here. They really have no run game to speak of per se at this stage. Their offensive line, that was once such a rock for them, is getting older, retiring, moving on. Um, yeah, it's just a tough scene, I think, in Dallas, and it feels just such a desperate move bringing in George Pickens here. Um, Talent wise, he's good. Really good receiver in college. Has shown glimpses in the pros. Has made some great catches. Had decent games, but the mental side is just where he lacks. And I think a lot of teams. We talked about Shadur Sanders falling in the draft. I think a lot of teams don't even want to associate themselves with guys who are more of a locker room cancer than they produce on the field. And I think that's unfortunately what George Pickens has been this far in his NFL career. And I don't think going to Dallas is going to fix that. I think he needed to go to maybe a smaller market, maybe a team without such an ego. And Dallas is definitely not that. I think it's a bad move for the Cowboys, giving up future capital. They're trying, what feels like trying to build a championship team right now when they're honestly nowhere close. They're not going to go win a championship this year. They're not going to contend for a championship this year. And George Pickens is definitely not the kickstart that they need here. So feels very desperate. Feels like they're just trying to get another stud across the field from CeeDee Lamb, which they've had decent receivers, Michael Gallup, Brandon Cooks, Amari Cooper. And yeah, talent wise, George Pickens is up there for sure. But like I said, I just don't think he has the head to go along with it. I think it causes more of a distraction in the locker room than production on the field. And just a really desperate, grasping at straws move is how it comes off to me from Jerry Jones and the Cowboys here. So that's my reaction. Again, I like it for Pittsburgh. Really don't like it for the Cowboys here. But let me know, guys, in the comments below. What do you guys think about the George Pickens trade to Dallas here? If you do enjoy the comment, please subscribe to our channel. We have content daily, baseball, UFC, hockey, NBA. We cover everything here. Football, obviously, is king. So Please subscribe, throw this video a like. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on George Pickens. We do have the schedule release coming out a week from today, Wednesday, May 14th. And that's kind of where I take off on the NFL, start looking into futures, things of that nature. So we'll have plenty of content coming out on the NFL after that. But thanks as always, guys, for tuning in to another instant reaction video here, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, guys.